Go to if you tell a woman to go to the doctor, oh boy,
women need to go to the doctor. I can't do Brady do a lot of. Well, okay, I tell you this.
Okay,
a lot of people don't have insurance. All right, so they ain't going to the doctor.
Then that's an interesting stat. I want to know what percentage of men and what percentage of women have insurance.
Well, just put it like this, Brandon. The pandemic. You remember the pandemic, right?
I do.
The pandemic was over once they found out a certain demographic was dying from it. so probably mid 2020, a certain demographic who did the poorest, didn't have insurance, and lived in certain neighborhoods.
Yes.
They was dying from the pandemic.
Right.
And time those stats came out, let's open everything back up. And people don't remember that, but that's a cold.
Yeah. It is because what community has high blood pressure, Black, diabetes,
Black,
asthma, all these conditions. Right.
And who said that? Who your boy? Fauci said that. Fauci came up there. Guys, if you got high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and all this is affecting the Black community.
Right.
He said this, Brandon.
Yeah, he probably did. I don't know if he said.
I see a similarity here because health disparities have always existed for the African American community. But here again, with the crisis, how it's shining a bright light on how unacceptable that is. Because yet again, when you have a situation like the coronavirus, they are suffering disproportionately. As Dr. Berg said correctly, it's not that they're getting infected more often, is that when they do get infected, their underlying medical conditions, the diabetes, the hypertension, the obesity, the asthma, those are the kind of things that wind them up in the ICU and ultimately give them a higher death rate. So when all this is over, and as we've said, it will end, we will get over coronavirus, but there will still be health disparities, which we really do need to address in the African American community.
Remember, he said the Black community, but he did address us. And Biden kind of addressed us too, just signaling that we're the problem and we're the one that's suffering.
He said he already knew Black people had all these conditions,
but back when it first came out,
he can't do nothing about it.
Right? But you do remember back when it first came out, Black people thought they were immune to it. Remember that?
That could have been a setup for the okie doke. He had Pookie and Nene out there with high blood pressure. With no insurance,
right.
You go to the hospital, they say ain't nothing wrong with you.
Right, that's what I was about to say. And you know how they gonna treat you when you go to the hospital.
And then you come back, then you be on the respirator. Then they say, "Hold on, we don't got enough respirators come out. Pull him off and put him on this one."
We laughing. That's sad though, right? Because that's expensive equipment, and to have you on a respirator because they had to put you, they make you unconscious or put you under, sedate you, and then you on a respirator.
Brandon,
that's 24/7.
How many respirators they have in hospitals? 10?
Not a lot.
And you got 1,000 people.
Right. You got beautiful people coming in, wonderful people, charming people.
Yeah, they move them respirators around.
Right. And a wonderful person might come in with some money, you know what I'm saying? And they like, look, can you help my family member? Tell me you got a couple beautiful people, you can go ahead unhook them, Go ahead and put my
and that's exactly, I hate to say this what see, people don't remember. We so dumb, we don't remember what happened 3 years ago.
You're right. Or a week ago. We forget what happened a week ago.
Fauci said Black people got these conditions, and if you catch this original virus, it's going to hit you hard.
Right.
And somehow the social media said Black people can't get it. Just drink some sweet tea.
And some elderberry.
It's a vitamin D.
Right, because we talked about that first strand of COVID, that thing was deadly.
It was messing you up.
Right, for sure. And as it progressed, it mutated and got weaker, and people was having a hard time with it, but they were surviving, which is thank God, but still,
And when I say deadly, our definition of deadly is 1%.
Yeah.
So 1 out of 100 people was gone. They go call it, and that's a lot, brother.
Yeah, that's a lot for sure. Yeah, one person dying is a lot. So 1%. Just imagine how many people lost family members during that time.
I lost family.
Yeah, me too. My grandparent might have passed from it, but like I said, you don't even know. But she passed around that time. She was perfectly fine, and then she kind of passed during that time. I think she had a stroke, and just her condition just faded all the way out. Like I've never seen somebody change so quickly and just pass away. But like I say, I couldn't even go to the funeral because of COVID and all that stuff that was going on. So that was a serious time.
If you broke a leg and died during that time, they'll say you died of COVID. Get that $10,000.
Right. Hospital. And because the hospital is a business, and you know, the more patients that they got, or the more numbers they can show, like, hey, look, we have this many patients coming in dying of COVID. Like, we need more funding so we can figure out what's going on. Not saying they run the scam, not saying they were doing this, but they're playing the system. You know, they got to get the research. And do you think it was a good thing what they were doing?
Which one?
Just, I guess, using people. Basically, they were using people as guinea pigs. You know, not per se, but when somebody come in, they watch how they reacted to COVID, because we didn't even want to get close to somebody with COVID because we knew we could catch it and die. Because remember, they had the suits on and everything like that. So the hospital have you in there. They watch you. They might not give you the best care normally because it's a serious situation and they didn't know what could happen. So you may die, and they take that information and use it to, you know, with their other data, and just everybody compile data and try to see what's working. So they tested a bunch of stuff.
Well, they do that anyway, and hospitals don't give you the best service unless you're there.
Right.
So those places got overrun with people.
Right. And it wasn't good, but, you know, ultimately we figured something out. We'll just say that. Luckily,
herd immunity, that's what did it.
Yeah, I agree. And